My name is Tamia Archie. The name of my company is Elite Healthcare Staffing. I am a healthcare staffing agency, so we hire CNAs, LVNs, and RNs and put them to work in the facilities that we are contracted with all over the Bay Area. We have a website, we have a business phone, we have a fax, we have a physical location in Walnut Creek. We're easy to get a hold of. The website is, the name of the company is Elite Healthcare Staffing. The website is www.ehcsnow.com, which is the initials of the company. Word now afterwards. I have been in business, it'll be a year at the end of May that we're embarking upon our first year anniversary. So kind of exciting. It's been a lot of ups and downs, a lot of things you learn, what to do, what not to do, but I'm here for the ride. So in order to be a certified nurse assistant, you can find a local school that will, I think the class is no more than like 4 to 6 weeks. You take the test and you receive your certified nursing license from the state of California. In order to be a licensed vocational nurse or a registered nurse, it's a little bit more schooling involved, but you definitely have to go to school to obtain these licenses. And at the time, we do not hire anything other than these 3 roles. So pretty much the typical day is waking up, going to your office, answering phone inbound calls, making outbound calls, making sure that my recruiters are doing what they're supposed to do, contacting facilities, getting updated schedules, contacting employees, taking calls from employees, and just getting schedules prepared for the upcoming week up to the next month. So that's pretty much what it is, day in and day out, on the phone, on the computer, pretty much all day. And after hours as well, because when staff don't show up, we do get phone calls 6 a.m., midnight. So it's kind of like round the clock. Weekends, there is no off days really. I actually have a good friend, or she's my god sister, and I saw that she had started it, and I actually was looking for a business to start right at the beginning of, before the pandemic, pre-pandemic. I was looking to start a medical transportation business where we would pick up patients and take them to medical appointments, and then the pandemic just kind of shut all that down. We weren't able to get in cars, any of that, so I was already looking for a business, and I saw this as a great opportunity to, provide jobs for people. So that's kind of how I got here. The fear calling facilities and being told no, because for some companies, they know they need your services, so it's a little easier than others. Some, they say they don't need you, or they don't realize they need you at the time. So just being told no and learning to keep going, regardless of if you get 10 no, you got to keep going until you get that 1 yes, and that's what's going to make you successful. So just overcoming the fear of rejection, I guess, so to speak, with the calls. So I started by registering my business with the state, registering it as an LLC, and then I took a mentor class. So I was mentored step by step how to open the business, and I'm planning on doing the same. I was supposed to start in April. It's been pushed back, but I am planning on showing others how to get into this business. But that's pretty much what it was. Taking the necessary steps to officially set up the business, and then getting all of your insurances, your bonds, and all of your business practices in place, and that's really how and here I am today. So it was about $3,500 for the class, and then we operated from May to September. with no income. So we were using money to keep paying things like the insurance, the phone bills. We have to advertise. That's how we get our applicants. It's on Indeed. So those costs are astronomical. I would say startup, including the operational part of the business, until you actually start making money, it was probably about 7 to 10,000 maybe. Yeah. No, quitting is not an option. I invested too much time, too much money, and just too much energy. So quitting's not an option. I have days where I'm like, do I really want to do this? But I know quitting's not an option. My husband is also my silent business partner. And so he invested the money and, initially the time as well. So whenever I kind of start getting discouraged or negative, it kind of frustrates him because he's like, you said you wanted to do this. And so for me, I'm thinking about the long run because this is a multi-million-dollar business. So it's just a matter of getting to a place where you have 100 or more employees. And at that point, you're bringing in a lot of money. So it's just, having your employees, getting more employees, having to fire people. So then you feel like you're kind of going back and forth. Like, okay, this week I had 20 people working and I had to fire 2, so now I have to replace them. It's a lot, but quitting is not an option. Quitting is definitely not an option. So sometimes when I get discouraged, I do reach out to my mentor, and she always encourages me to keep going. Keep going. Stay in the place of being grateful. So I try to, be grateful and just be thankful that the business kind of like fell in my lap, so to speak. I also encouraged a close friend of mine to start the same business. I knew initially that we couldn't do it together, but I did want her to do it alongside with me. So a lot of times I call her, I encourage her really when I'm calling to be encouraged, but she's still doing it a little bit, well, mostly by herself. So it's difficult. So sometimes I'm like, I called to get encouraged. I called to be encouraged, but I had to encourage her. But anyway, we encourage one another. We share names of people to do not hire and just different stories. So, and then I actually have to give a shout out to my scheduling manager who also operates as my assistant. Her name is Tequila Nikki Maryland, and she is a godsend. She always reminds me, like, you're not giving up. Like, don't even worry about it. Just be patient. And everybody always tells me to just be patient. So, it's any business you get in, you're going to have peaks and valleys. You're going to have days where you don't want to keep going. And then you're going to have days where you're like, you know what? This is worth it. When I get that employee that is so happy that they're able to make more money than they would if they were just hired directly by the company, and then they're like, oh my gosh, it's money that they've never made, then that makes me feel like it's worth it to keep going, because we're able to pay our staff more than they would make under circumstances of being actually employed with one facility. So they just kind of rotate between different facilities. So yeah, lots of research, because what I find is it's very important what area you're doing it in. We started in the East Bay. I think the East Bay is kind of difficult to start in because there's a lot of pushback about the rates. A lot of the facilities around here say, your rates are too high. So then you end up negotiating your rates, just to get the contract to where you're not really making as much money as you should be. So I feel like market research is going to be the most important thing before you even do this. Like, where should I start this? Because you can literally do it anywhere in the United States. But just a lot of research, making up your mind that this is what you want to do, because like I said, there are no weekends. I mean, you can pretty much do this wherever, because I get calls wherever I am. It could be Sunday night at 10, it could be Saturday morning at 6, so do Do you want to, I mean, most businesses you're working all the time, but with this, you're really working all the time because all of the facilities are open 24 hours. So just know that this is something that you really want to do, and do the research. And I think with that, if you really want to go forward, you'll be successful. So my next thing is, I've actually mentioned, I haven't really did all of my research, but I'm opening up a CNA school so that people that are interested, and they may be medical assistants or caregivers. Well, I think medical assisting is, they may be in the healthcare field, but wanting to get a license or certification. So I'm thinking about opening up a CNA school, and then also starting to employ others in other states. So those are my next things that I'm working on. In the Black community, I like to see more of people encouraging one another, encouraging, supporting, not down talking and being envious and jealous, just kind of coming together and embracing one another, supporting one another, and encouraging one another. Like, you can do it. You got this. Keep pushing. You know what I mean? Something like that. Because there's a whole lot of divisiveness, and it's not good. It's, other nationalities don't have it as bad as we do, especially Black women. Black women have a tendency to be really catty and, envious. They may not even know, someone, and it's just like, it's not a good thing. We need to come together, pull together, and love one another. You know what I mean? So, what would I advise you to do? Hang in there when you feel like you want to give up. Know that there are going to be ups and downs. Make up your mind to do this. Work as hard as you would for someone else, because if all the time and dedication that you put into a company that you might have been with for 10 years, 20 years, if you do that with your own business, you will be successful. So just go to bat for yourself. Work hard for yourself. Be patient. Reinvest in your business. Don't blow, whatever profit you make, and just know that it's up and down and ups and downs. And anytime you're an entrepreneur, and just kind of, save for a rainy day for when it is bad, so you don't feel like you have to give up and go get a job, So that's it. Please like and subscribe. BE Warehouse.